JJ the CPA here. Hope you're doing well. So how is it that you start a business? How do you know you have a business? And this might surprise you, but it is one thing. You have a customer that paid you. That is really, in my opinion, after 28 years in the business of helping small business owners as their CPA, the way I would define that you have a business, that you have started a business. So getting started is all about finding your customer and then servicing or selling to that customer something that they are going to pay for and at a fair market value. This isn't a hobby where you're just going to sell it at cost, right? You need to be able to make money. That's why you're starting a business or a side gig. Once you have a customer that has paid you, then you have a business. Many make the mistake that they need to name their business, they have to find the location, they have to do all these other things. Now, yes, there are certain businesses that you would have to have a location, in essence, to be able to sell to a customer. But do you? Let's say a restaurant. Well, I got to have a restaurant, I got to find the location, I got to have signage, I got to have the name, I got to have the menu. Okay. I've had a few clients that have said, I wanted to either start a restaurant or a bakery or something that they were ready to go and do just what I had indicated, and they were really under the mindset that they had to have the location. I've talked to those that are working somewhere, they're starting up a side business. These would be clients over the last 28 years. And it's like, well, but I'm starting a law practice, so I got to have my office, a copier, and no, what you need to have is a customer. So how would you do that with a restaurant? Okay, well, would anybody just come to your house and pay for you to cook for them? Even if it's just, hey, will you guys come over? I want to cook a meal for you as a dry run for having a restaurant. What's the feedback? How did it work? Right? Then next, to cater. So, hey, I've got a catering business. You don't need a location for that. So now you're catering. Don't have to do a ton per se to see that you have a customer, but do people want to eat what it is that you're cooking? Same thing, let's say with the bakery. You don't need to have a location. You have social media or other means. You can find a customer and, in essence, test out whether or not your business is viable. Is it going to be what it is that you thought? Are you going to be able to make money? Well, you're going to know based on one customer if you're able to make money, or a handful of customers. Because it's not about selling it. It's not about the gross. It's about what are you going to net. So are you able to do what it is that you want to do? And are you going to make, as in net, money from it and net enough eventually to be able to either give a return on investment to whoever's involved or yourself, or to live on, or whatever the case is. So many think they have to do all these other things to actually start a business. That is part of starting a business, but that's not actually having a business. And over the years, I've seen a number of people, and not because they're ignorant, not because they're fooling themselves, but they put all this other time and effort into it thinking they're starting a business. Yeah, you could argue, and if you're defensive about it, why? You're getting a name, setting up a LLC, getting a tax ID number, getting a bank account, coming up with a logo and business cards and how you're going to promote it and the social media presence and the website and all that. Yeah. But that isn't actually having a business is really my point. You see what I'm saying? Now, here's why I'm glad you stayed to hear. Because guess what? If you can have a customer, or you've lined up a customer and they're buying, they're ready to buy, or you've done proof of concept, all that other stuff can happen in days. Okay? Maybe not finding the location, but setting up an LLC and getting an EIN and a bank account and logo and setting up a website. I mean, if you dedicated, right, you could have all that done in days. But Instead, many then take months to do all that. They get overwhelmed, they get concerned, and all it is putting off the inevitable of really seeing if your business is going to work, in my opinion. Right? Well, if I have the right business card and the right website and the right location, then my business will succeed. No, your business is going to succeed because you're going to be able to sell something to somebody that's going to pay you and pay you enough to make a profit. The rest of that doesn't make up your business. Now, you might be doing all of that at the same time, but what comes first, chicken or the egg? I don't know what the answer is to that, but I'll tell you what should come first when you're starting your business. It's having a customer that's going to pay you. Make it easier in a lot of different ways, because when you have proof of concept, when you know what your customer's actually going to pay for, not what you think they're going to pay for, and they pay what it is that the fair market value is for that product or service, all those other decisions, especially when you're talking about equipment or location or a lease, is going to be easier to make a decision on, because you're going to be able to work and move forward a little more sure-footedly, if you will. So, am I saying that you shouldn't do those other things? No. But what I'm saying is, don't confuse getting that done as actually starting your business. Okay? Actually starting your business is the customer that pays you and enough that you make a profit. The rest of that stuff is because you have a business. Having a name is not a business. Having an LLC designation and a bank account, that's not a business. If somebody came up to you and they said, hey, listen, I got a fantastic business here. I've got a great name and I got a website and I've got all this stuff lined up. But just FYI, I don't have any customers. I haven't sold anything. You'd be like, well, that's not a business. See what I'm saying? Now, you can do all things simultaneously, but your number one goal shouldn't be, well, I got to figure out this and that and this and that, other than who's my customer, how and when and how much are they going to pay me? Can I deliver it? Am I going to get paid? And am I going to get a profit? That's really the number one goal. And once you solve that, boom, sky's the limit. Right? All right, hey, thanks for tuning in. I'd love it if you'd subscribe. And then don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite like me.